Howdy y'all, it's Kathy from RustPaperScissors. I want to welcome you to my channel today. I'm going to do a flip through of this New Orleans themed junk journal. But first of all, I wanted to mention that my Etsy shop is back open. I put it on vacation mode. We had some massive storms about a week and a half ago, and we were without internet and power for several days. And so I put my shop on vacation mode, but now we're back, have rusted items ready to go. So if you need any rusted items for your junk journals, please go to my shop. It's RustPaperScissors on Etsy. And then I wanted to talk a moment about making this journal. And in the spring, I had done a series of Paris-themed journals, and I had some of the, not ephemera, but some of the paraphernalia that went with the French themed. Like I had this book cover that was covered in the sticky backed velvet, and I thought it would make a perfect cover for a New Orleans or French Quarter themed journal. We were able to go to French Quarter Festival this year. We have some wonderful friends who live in New Orleans, and we've been down there several times. We've gone to Jazz Fest numerous years and just love it. We really embrace the culture. It's a lot of fun. The food's amazing. The music is wonderful. So this was our first time to go to French Quarter Festival. And what it is they set up stages all throughout the French Quarter. And all the musicians are local musicians. They also have some amazing food vendors. And in Texas, when you think of like state fair food, you think of corn dogs, hot dogs, hamburgers, not too exciting. But in New Orleans, the food is amazing. It's shrimp etouffee, it's crawfish etouffee, it's muffaladas, poor boys, crawfish, desserts, beignets, donuts. It's just, you can't imagine, the food is amazing. So I thought it would be fun when I got back to make a New Orleans themed journal. So I think I'm going to call this one Le Bon Temps, the good times. And that's one of the battle cries there in New Orleans is Laissez le bon temps rouler, is let the good times roll. I found an Etsy shop called MidnightBoheme, and I will list it below, but it has digital kits that embrace the culture in New Orleans, the lifestyle, just all sorts of things. So I printed several of the kits and just loved them, and that's what I used almost exclusively in the journal. I will not say, this is from MidnightBoheme. You'll just know it. If it's something different, I will say that. But otherwise, any digital is from the MidnightBoheme kits. And I have bought digital kits in the past, but I had never bought a kit like this one. And this kit allows you to break down the different images that you see. You could print them in total as one whole, digital print, or you can break down the elements and print some that are translucent, or you could print it on different colored cardstock. There's just several different ways to print the digital kit. So what I did was I printed the kit several different ways in some incidences. So some of the digital prints will be repeats. And the reason I did that, my traditional style of making a journal is it's basically a blank journal. And by that I mean the ephemera is, you're able to move it around. You can change it and make it your own. And that's what this kit allows you to do, is if you want the colorful images, then, use those. If you want the more subdued, or it was really translucent, that you printed them on, and I'll show you as we go through the journal, you could use that. So it really allows you to make the journal your own. The journal is a repurposed Reader's Digest book. It is about 7.5 by 5.5. It has one signature covered in the sticky backed velvet with lace from my wedding dress. We found this fleur-de-lis in the shop in the French Quarter, and I thought, oh, that would be perfect to put on the journal. This front kit is just from the kit. It's on some corrugated cardboard, some ribbon twist paper, and then the print. My signature closure is the bulldog clip. This is what it looks like from the side. It has some jewelry, some little metal rim tags, and I just wanted you to see that. And then, like I say, this is my signature closure, the bulldog clip. Makes it easy to get into. Along with the journal, there is a little added bonus. And then I have 3 different kind of little, not kits, but just different things of ephemera that you can add to the journal. It was just too much to put it all in there together, and I thought, when you weed out how you want to make it your own, you could just pick and choose. So, but it gives you a lot of things to choose from. So I'm going to move this off to the side. We'll go through those at the end, and I'll bring the camera in and see if we can't get a little better close of the journal. Let's see. Okay. This is, again, the front. And then inside the front, there's this is a rusted metal tag, and I added this Louisiana pelican, and then this is the back for you to journal on. And then also it has a nameplate here in the front that just says journal, but you could change that out and put whatever you wanted to call it. The inside is covered with a sticky backed velvet. There is a library card holder. It comes with a blank library card. There's a store near our house that sells vintage books. They buy libraries and school libraries, and I'll put their link below if you're interested. They sometimes have a good selection of maybe vintage books that you might be interested in. When I was there, I noticed some of the books had the original library cards in them, and I asked them if I could buy those, and so I got several of them from the books, but they ended up just giving them to me, so that was very sweet. And now they collect them for me, so every once in a while I stop by and pick up a new set of library cards. This one is vintage. It's from, I think the earliest date is 1962. I can see a 69, I see a 62 there. So this is a vintage item. And then this was just a little tag that I made out of a guest check. It says Le Bon Temps, the good times. And that's what New Orleans is famous for. We have some good times. The signature is just the cover is some corrugated cardboard. This is La Nouvelle Orleans, and just talks about different places like the Garden District, the French Quarter, Mid-City, just several different places in New Orleans. And then this is a little ribbon crimp with a chandelier crystal. On the inside, this is another one of my signature items, is the rusted bulldog clip, rusted metal prong fastener, and it has several little pages that you can journal on. The beauty of this is that you could take these pages out, you could add to them, you could replace them with other types of pages. So it just gives you, again, some flexibility. This is a vintage doily. This first page is some tracing paper that I don't know if you can see it, but I heat embossed a flourish on there. All the pages are tea dyed. This is some manuscript paper, and this is one of the digitals, and this is what I'm talking about. But see, they can be very more or less colorful, and so this is an entire digital print, but you can break it down and you can just print this part, or you could just print the background. So it's very interesting to manipulate the kit, and so I really encourage you, as you're going through and looking at kits, you might look to see if the kit you're looking at allows you to print in different ways. And they probably all do, and I'm probably, way out of touch, but it was new to me. So that's one page. And then on the other side here is just another print, and it's the pralines. And then this is what I'm talking about. I just printed this part, and it was a transparent background on the print, so I printed it onto some matte sticker paper, and just made a little tag. You could write about, maybe you went someplace and had pralines, maybe you have a praline recipe that you want to keep. So there's just a couple of ideas, and again, they are where you can remove them. They're held on here with a rusted alligator clip. This page is just a blank page of typing paper, and I added the rhinestone trim on the side. I think that looks kind of Parisian or Art Deco, so I like to add that. And then this is another example of the prints. This is printed on just some parchment paper, and jazz is legendary in New Orleans, and you can hear some fabulous music. So a lot to journal about on that. Then there's also Zydeco music, the Cajun music that's fun to listen to. And then, of course, traditional Dixieland jazz, New Orleans is famous for. And then I couldn't not include a picture of Louis Armstrong with Dixieland. So this is a page of ledger paper from the 1950s, and then let's just put this back if I can get it. And then I just added some lace on the side. On this page, this is a tip-in, and it's just a little card in a cellophane, not a cellophane, but a, what is that, glassine paper. And then this is again the example of the digital printed with the colorful background, where on the cover I just used the insert. And then this opens up, and again, this is a different way to print out the Zydeco music. And again, printing them several different ways allows you to customize the journal. This is just a blank writing paper. This is some writing paper. This is some ledger paper. This, I believe, is a digital either from the Graphics Fairy or maybe Ruby and Pearl, but it was just a wallpaper. And then on the inside, this is just some language arts paper from a language arts book, a workbook. And then I added this little doily. And then this is what the kit is about. It's celebrating the culture of New Orleans. So a lot of times the street lamps are beautiful. The ironwork on the balconies in the French Quarter is beautiful. So these are just some different aspects of life in New Orleans. The shotgun house, that's these little narrow houses where you could stand on the porch, supposedly, and shoot a gun right through the house and it wouldn't hit anything, wouldn't hit any walls. And then the streetcars, they're famous for their streetcars. And then this is a digital of the Basilica, the St. Louis Cathedral there in Jackson Square. And then this is just a digital of the wrought iron. That's some of the work you can see. So that's just part of life in New Orleans. And then this is again talking about the music, and this is the jazz digital again. I'll show you how it differs from, so you can vary the size and you can vary the backgrounds. So it just gives you a lot of opportunity to customize the journal. I have it clipped on here with a butterfly clip. I sell those in my shop. It's rusted and I really love those. And so that's just some of the writing paper. This is a digital from about the Natchez. It's a riverboat on the Mississippi, and so I included that. I liked the blue with the blue in the paper. And then this is just a little pocket. I had one of those little inserts in there, but it just was too thick, so I pulled it out. This is some vintage doily. This is the center of the signature, which is a envelope covered in the sticky back velvet with some ribbon twist paper. And then this is again a digital, one of the colorful ones. And this talks about the magnolias, and the magnolias are beautiful in New Orleans, but they're also beautiful throughout the South. And then I added a little metal rim tag with a fleur-de-lis stamped on it. And then inside is just a grouping of digitals from the kits. And these were things that might be associated with New Orleans, or they might be associated with Louisiana or the South in general. So I'll just flip through them real quick. But we talk about cotton, and cotton is king in the South. And then there's tobacco. They grow tobacco in Louisiana. Then this is again the example of how you can print these kits. So this is just some tobacco. Talk about sweet tea, the house wine of the South. And then okra. Okra is a huge cash crop. My mom made a wonderful fried okra and fried potato dish. It was my favorite. I tried to recreate it, but I don't come quite as good. It's not as good as you remember. It never is. And then again, this is an example of printing that, just that image onto the sticker paper, the clear sticker paper. And again, you could write about maybe if you went and had okra gumbo, or just fried okra, and or maybe you have a recipe. Again, then this talks about Louisiana honey, and then it talks about Creole tomatoes. And then again, this is the picture of the magnolia. Alligators, famous there in the bayous. Then this is some chicory coffee. And then this is Lafitte's blacksmith shop. Supposedly this is the oldest continuously running bar in the United States. It was founded in 1772. And then the bayou, and this shows the lightning bugs. And then this is an example of the plantations, and throughout southern Louisiana there are several different plantations you can visit. Some have been turned into a bread and breakfast, and you can enjoy the bread and breakfast, so that's an option. And then again, this is a picture of the fleur-de-lis. And again, I wanted you to have the ability to customize your journal. And the back of this is just covered with some lace. And then this is that doily. On this is just a digital, and I'm not sure where I got it from, but I loved the color. I thought the color went so well with the blue in this vintage ledger paper. And then this was a little insert that I made that talked about Mardi Gras. So I added a little metal rim tag with a crown on there. And then inside are the different digitals about Mardi Gras. This one talks about the mask, carnival, crowns, and tiaras. And then this talks about king cake and finding the baby in the king cake. And then these is the same items, but I printed them just, on this. It was parchment paper. This is talking about second line, and the second line in New Orleans is usually when there's a parade. They have what they call the second line is after the parade. It's the locals taking part in the parade, and a lot of times they carry the umbrellas. You see them at weddings and at funerals mainly, but that's the second line. And then again, this is the same digitals just printed out in a different format, and so I wanted to include those because I've never been to Mardi Gras, but I know it's a lot of fun and people enjoy it. My friends are involved in Bacchus, and they do a lot with Mardi Gras. And then the back here is just plain, and then this is the bookmark, and I just added some rhinestones on there, and it's some velvet ribbon. This is a blank page. Oh, this must have been, this is supposed to be clipped in there, but this is just this page, and again, that's one of those butterfly clips, and then this is the other part of that language arts paper, and then on this side, I added a little tuck spot. This is a little flower that I crocheted in some a metal fender washer and a metal brad, and I rust those. And then inside here, I just included some vintage negatives that I sell these in my shop, but I thought it'd be fun. You know, you go on vacation, you usually take a lot of pictures, so I thought it'd be fun to include these with your pictures. So I have that, and then also inside I included, oops, let me see if I can get this back in there, and then I'll show you these. Well, I'm not having much luck. Hold on. It's not that difficult, it's just when you're filming, it doesn't go as planned. Okay, and then these are just some slides, and I included those. And then that's the, oh, this is another insert that I made, and it has just a little fleur-de-lis there on the file folder, and inside is just some more of the things you might see in New Orleans. It also has the metal prong fastener and the extra pages for you to journal on, maybe some of the day trips that you take, or just a memory that you have of New Orleans. And so again, these are the same digitals, but it just printed differently, so you could perhaps use them in a different way, or you know, you pick and choose how you want your journal to look. So these are just, those are included in there, and then that's just stuck in there. And then New Orleans has a colorful way of talking, and they talk about making groceries when they go to the store. They make groceries, so that was one of the digital prints. And then this is just, I'm not sure where this came from, but it was just a little, I had made a little coin type envelope and wanted to include it because I like the blue with the blue paper. And then this is just some of that typing paper, and I added a little tip in, just some lace, so you could do maybe some secret journaling. Again, I added some rhinestone trim on the edge. And then these are ribbon crimps. Ribbon crimps are easy to use when you're doing like a tip-in or something like that. They just go really fast, and I enjoy that, using those. This is some more of the manuscript paper. I added some velvet ribbon on the end just to strengthen the edge. This is the typing paper, and then this is the back of the doily. And then this was a belly band that I made, and I just included two little sticky backed velvet tags, and this one has some trim on it. And I thought you could add your pictures or whatever you wanted to those. And then the back is just, again, this is one of the water meters there in the streets in New Orleans. If you didn't like that, you could cover that up with something else. And you can always change whatever is in here. You can either take it off or glue over it. So remember to make things your own is all I'm trying to say. And then this is just a group, kind of like a little tearaway tags. I added some clam clips here at the top to hold it together. But I added some sayings that you might hear in New Orleans, like lagniappe. That's where they talk about a little something extra, like maybe a baker's dozen. So you could usually get a little something, some lagniappe. And then this is laissez le bon temps rouler, let the good times roll. And in New Orleans or throughout the South, you're bound to hear fixin', I'm fixin' to go to the store, I'm fixin' to get mad. You're fixing to do a lot of things, so I included that. And then another thing you might hear throughout the South is, well, bless your heart. And it's not always a compliment, but you hear it quite a bit, well, bless your heart. So I thought that was fun to include. And then the other one was, a lot of times we'll hear somebody say, give me some sugar. And that means they want a kiss. And so that's the journal. And then, like I say, the lagniappe part is just these extra rusted clips and paper clips. And this is a little bit of rusted staples, approximately 200. This is the offcuts from the journal, and you could use them to make tags or just a cohesive way to add to your journal. The other things that I wanted to talk about were it's a lot of libations, and there's a lot of partying in New Orleans, and it's a lot of fun, but I made a little grouping of tags. This one is the different drinks in New Orleans, and you could take this ring apart. You could write on the back, but it talks about the hurricane, which is famous at Pateau's, and then Bloody Marys. And then those two drinks I've had, the rest of these I haven't had. Sazerac, I'm not sure exactly what that is. French 75, I think that's champagne and gin. Then they have Prim's Cup. And then Abstinct, I'm not sure how to say that. Let's see. I can get to the other one. And then I just included a tag of sweet tea since it's the house wine of the South. And then I included also the coffee and chicory because you might add something to your coffee. So that's the cocktails. And then I made a little file folder again with the prong fastener and the extra pages. So that's cocktails. And then the other thing about New Orleans is the food, and it's amazing. They talk a lot about the Holy Trinity, which is celery, peppers, and onions. And so I put this on the front of the file folder. And then inside I just included several of the prints, crab boil, crawfish, Creole tomatoes, crawfish bisque, boudin balls, pecan pie. I'm not sure how to say this, d'auberge cake. I've never had that, so I don't know. But it was part of the kit. And then these are some more like sandwiches and different things. Muffalata, which is a sandwich that is wonderful. It's like different types of meat and cold cuts and olive spread, and it's just very good. And then I put it on here with a little, that is a book dart. I sell those in my shop. And then again, I show you the different way to print that, and I printed it on a guest check. If you wanted to write about, maybe you went and had a special muffalata sandwich. And then there's also, of course, the poor boy. This is the shrimp poor boy. Or no, what's that one? This one, crab. shrimp, crawfish, oysters, and crabs. Oh, that's got everything. This is just the shrimp poor boy. This is fried oyster poor boy. Soft shell crab. This is my favorite. Poor boy would be the soft shell crab. And then there's crab boils, red beans and rice. The traditional meal on Mondays is red beans and rice because that was supposedly wash day. And then there's gumbo, jambalaya, shrimp creole, crawfish again, oyster Rockefeller, etouffee, and then beignets, like at Cafe du Monde, are famous for the beignets. And then I added a little, again, it printed onto a guest check, and then the pralines, bananas Foster, I believe that was famous at Brennan's. And then this is again the Doberge cake, macaroons, pecan pie, snowballs, that's like a snow cone, and then this is a candy wagon. So that is another one of the inserts. And then the last insert, I was not real sure how to talk about this insert. It has to do with maybe the black magic or the undercurrent to the city of New Orleans. I've always said that I thought the devil had an apartment somewhere in the French Quarter. There's just an undercurrent to the city. And in the kit, they included some of the voodoo and a grist bag and just some different things. So I made a separate little insert. And if this bothered you or you did not like it, you could throw it away. You could take this off, add a different picture, and use it in a different way. So I want to encourage you to do that. But like I say, if you're turned off by that, it's part of the culture there. And so they included it in the kit, so I included it. And I just wanted to say that. I added this little ribbon on the side to close it, and then I added a little black magic bag that's empty, but I just wanted to show you. So I included this little bag that you could put some kind of potion or a little prize or whatever you had, but that's part of the journal. And then this is, again, I selected this voodoo doll for the front. It has the D-ring fasteners as a closure. And then this is just blank pages. So again, if you didn't like this being voodoo, you could cover that up with a different picture and make it a different type of little booklet. You could just, throw these away. But this talks about the grist bag, so that could be your grist bag, the voodoo doll, the cemeteries in New Orleans are interesting because New Orleans is just right at sea level, and a lot of the cemeteries have all the graves above ground, so they have tombs. So this is talking about the cities of the dead, and it was just one of the digitals. And then again, this is the voodoo doll, the grist bag, the tombs, and then Madame Laveau, the queen of the voodoo. So that's that. So that is the journal. It will be for sale in my Etsy shop. I do appreciate your time. I would appreciate it if you left me a comment. And if you liked it, if you'd hit the like button, that helps promote my shop or my videos. And just thank you, and I do appreciate your time.